All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of Fireside. I'm really glad that we have Yash with us, and he has been a regular student. He has been an interviewer at S30 also. And, just like a lot of you students, he used to attend the Fireside chat sessions from the other side. And I am really proud and really glad that he is now the speaker of one of the fireside chats, and he has achieved a lot of success, and he has great experiences. A lot of you have been pinging him, and he has written about his experiences in the interview experience also, which has been immensely liked. But we will listen to his. We are lucky enough to listen to his experiences live. So let's start. Just a quick request to the audience. Please don't ask him the question that he might have signed with the NDAs at both the companies, at the other companies as well. Um, we can ask him, generalized questions, but you can ask. Firstly, I will be going over the conversation with him. Then I'll open the conversation with Yash to everybody else also. All right. Welcome, Yash. And what's your story?
Yeah, my story is nothing great, just like somebody else, but someone in the middle who stumbled back on multiple rejections and then started lead code with utter consistency. So that's where I come from. I'll introduce myself first. I'm from India and a small college from Pune. Uh, I then worked with Capgemini on two different projects. Very good work experience for sure. Started my journey with Northeastern. Bit rough in the first year, better in the second year. After my graduation, I started applying, and I started applying late actually, and gave multiple interviews. Maybe four, failed all the four, and failed the toughest ones, passed the easiest ones always. And after that, gave a few on-site rounds with a couple of companies, and uh, got a couple of offers. And I've right now joined Amazon as an SDE2 with the Amazon Stores org. And I'm working with fulfillment by Amazon, which is basically entirely it's working with sellers at the moment.
Awesome. And you had an offer from Walmart also, right?
Yes, I had an offer from Walmart for senior software developer.
Yeah. So, firstly, this is, for all the audience, how did you, SD2 is also pretty senior, right? So, how did you manage to get into, what made you different from the other candidates that you could, target the
Mhm.
senior roles?
Mhm. I think sheer confidence in yourself and explaining the stories well enough with metrics. I think that I cannot emphasize the metrics part enough. You can always tell a story, but backed up with metrics, it becomes truth. So I think that's where I excelled with my confidence and all my stories. And I think that they liked the work that I did in the past, which helped me get me where I am.
Awesome. So, okay, tell us a little bit about the interview process that you faced. Tell us the names of all the companies you might have failed
Mhm.
at them. That's again a great learning. What were the companies? What was the interview experience like? And if you have can go into nuanced differences between, let's say, Amazon and Walmart and Goldman,
Mhm.
probably, then it will be
Mhm.
really great for the audience.
Yeah, sure. Uh, let's go towards the FANG names only. And so earlier, I in the first I gave Amazon SD1 and failed the first round, excelled in the last few rounds. Maybe that was not my day, and this was back in August. Then I gave Salesforce, and Salesforce being my favorite company, it still is. I always wanted to work in Salesforce headquarters, that is San Francisco. So gave that. I'll get in too deep with the interviews what they asked, like similar questions of what they asked, of course, later. But very good experience with Salesforce. Failed that too. Gave so Walmart. I gave like 6 rounds. So that's a 3 months long journey, and so I'll come back to that later. Gave Amazon. Gave Microsoft new grad. So Microsoft new grad, they asked me a very easy question, finished it, gave them 3 different answers. Maybe they didn't like my behavioral enough, rejected me the next day. Gave Microsoft SD2, and the first round itself was an eliminatory round where I was asked one system design and one bit manipulation hard question. So very different, and uh, basically they didn't even tell me what was coming my way because they asked me for an availability of 45 minutes and the interview went long for 1 hour 25 minutes. So it was very different. So failed that, but I mean, I still didn't get the rejection email for that. So maybe not failed, but yeah, failed that one too. Gave Amazon SD2 again. All by the virtue of this particular platform S30. Met my good friends and some of the friends worked there already. So they referred my name to a recruiter, and the recruiter, I mean, they referred like 4 names of all the S30 students to recruiter, and the recruiter liked my profile, gave me an opportunity, and maybe that was my day.
Awesome. So just a related question, Mahesh is asking, how did you get the recruiter call? You mentioned that you were able to, yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
in S30 itself, your classmates or your interviewers?
Yeah, so I'll break that down, right? So I finished the S30 system design cohort and I was taking, so I being an interviewer for the system design, I was taking a system design interview of other fellow S30 student, and he happens to be at a good position in Amazon, same as D2. And he said that some of the other recruiters from Amazon itself are reaching out to him to join other organizations. So he said that he doesn't want to switch, and he asked me if I want to, and I said, I mean, Neki or Pooch Pooch. I said, I mean, I said always. It's Amazon, of course. So I said, yeah, give my resume. Maybe if he picks, then yeah, that's how he selected. To answer your question, that's how he selected.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. So yeah, we'll start taking the questions in the chat. But if you can touch upon the kind of techniques and the patterns you were asked at Amazon and Walmart.
Mhm. Sure. I'll start with Walmart because that's the, I mean, very different from the entire process. Uh, So yeah, first round I gave a managerial round, which was supposed to be 30 minutes, but ended up 45 minutes. All behavioral, not just behavioral, but all the technical questions as well. Not in terms of lead code, but let's say what's Kafka, what's SQL, different Oracle terms and something like that. So because Walmart is a Java shop, right? So that's what I try to call it. Walmart is the Java shop. So that being said, after that, the second round was a karat round, where the first question was a debugging question, maybe 10 minutes of the first question. After that, there was a coding question, simple matrix, and finished that. The next question was also matrix based, not really from lead code, but I would say the matrix based, and finished that too. Passed the karat round. The next round was by a senior data scientist from my team itself. Maybe would have been my team itself, and that was very different kind of round. He came in, no introductions. It was 60 minutes, and he gave me 4 lead code mediums and 2 arrays. I would say one backtracking and one priority queue. So 4 questions. I solved 3, stumbled upon one, but tried to explain him the approach for one. So 60 minutes I tried to solve 3 and explained him the approach for the last one. Also gave all the time and space complexities in that. So that round done. 2 days later, I have a system design round with again a senior data scientist. And so yeah, system design, it's based on their internal service. So By that time, I finished system design cohort by Rajkaran sir, and I was way confident than I was before. So give that round well. After that, it was on-site rounds for Walmart. A very warm hospitality by Walmart gave anything and everything they could have for a student that's coming in for interviews. Maybe it's same for the all the other companies, but this time it was my first where they're taking you to a good hotel and then they're giving you a car and then all food, flight, everything's reimbursed and everything. So yeah, uh, Walmart on-site first round was purely behavioral, and it was, I think they threw 18 questions at me. I still have the count. It was way too big. Uh, I know that it was, I think, more than an hour actually. So, 18
18 questions,
questions.
18 questions in
Yes.
all the rounds. It's literally they
Uh,
ask you
yeah.
half of the lead code.
Yeah, they asked this was all behavioral, so it's still not lead code. It's all behavioral, and they're touching up on. So when I say 18 questions, they have touched up on every single part of my career. So start right from the start, what I've worked on and everything. So yeah, that being said, that was the first round. The second round was a coding round, and I was called into a room. There was two managers in it. There was also three other people. One was from our same cohort as well, SCT. And yeah, one of my great friend, maybe he's here as well today. But yeah, coming back to that round, first round was coding question based on priority queue, and the second round was an SQL question. So SQL, I'd say easy, not even medium. So SQL easy. So that completed. It this happened on Friday, and the interviews was supposed to happen until Tuesday, and then they were supposed to give the final results on Wednesday. I fortunately enough, I was interviewing for SD3, and maybe they liked my confidence enough, and they gave me the offer on Monday itself. So that's the story for Walmart. Coming back to the main point
Just,
of this
just,
call, yeah.
just before you go to Amazon. So,
Mhm.
your, you know, if I have to divide it in percentages, so behavioral was what percent, and system design what was what percent, and DSA is what percent in your interview in Walmart.
In Walmart, all the interviews aligned.
Yeah, all the interviews
Okay.
aligned. Or maybe you can tell that okay, three rounds of coding, that is
Mhm.
DSAs, two rounds of system design,
Mhm.
and two solid rounds of behavioral, like that.
Yep. So one round of system design, three solid rounds of coding, and two rounds of behavioral. That's what I'd call.
So 1, 3, 2, which is a good mix actually. They're like they 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 totally evaluated you, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
all right,
So coming back to Amazon
yeah,
now, first was the interviewer call. After that, it was an OA, right? So the interview call is nothing. He'll just explain the process and what's going to happen that particular day, and he'll also share you the materials that's required. Then it's OA. So he said the OA, finished the OA that particular day itself. Two questions, completed both the questions. Second one being very hard. So it's very tough for like to get to the solution. But I've seen that. So this is my analogy. I've seen that even if you clear the second question half, maybe clear like leave 4 or 5 test cases, they'll still give you guys a call. But you need to write, in that case where you're not completing all the test cases, write two solutions. So that will help with, I think that they definitely go back and check. It's not like you've completed and then you get a call. Not like that. So yeah. Uh, OA
that's
round
a
is done.
just a moment.
Mhm.
That's a good. That's the first time that I'm listening, and that's a great tip actually. That you write two of the solutions if your test cases are not passing. That's a great tip. Go ahead, see.
Yeah. Next is what I would like to call the super day for Amazon. Uh, First round is a coding round, and they tend to play a lot with behavioral and the coding follow-ups. I think if you see Lead Code Premium, you would definitely get most of the questions. I'm not going to name the questions here out there. Maybe I'll tell the pattern, but I would like to say that it comes mostly from the list that they have on Lead Code Premium. So, yeah. Uh, First round, the interviewer came in, asked me two behavioral questions, and both have one follow-up each. So whenever you frame your, I'll get back to how you frame your behavioral questions, right? So two behavioral questions, one follow-up each, and then there's a coding question. A coding question is kind of linked list hard, but it's very famous linked list hard problem. Won't call it hard, but in lengthiness, it's hard, right? So to
I got
complete
it.
it
I
and
got
complete
it.
its follow-up
Yeah,
and to complete its follow-ups, it's high. So that particular problem is finished, and there are two follow-ups that's coming in. They also see how well you write your code. So I'll give you tips on how what they assess on, because these are the tips that helps me also give the interviews well, and this is something I've also gained from S30's interviewer job.
Mhm.
So yeah. Uh, Finish that particular round. Exactly after 5 minutes, there's a next round. Next round is supposed to be a bar raiser round, and bar raisers at Amazon are very very tough. So he has two behavioral questions and two follow-ups for both the behavioral questions. So he'll spend a lot of time on the behavioral questions. And I think at that particular day, he spent 25 minutes on the behavioral questions, 5 minutes for introductions, and there's just 30 minutes left, out of which at the last 5 minutes, they leave for you to ask questions. So it was a low level design round. So he asked me a basic low-level design problem based on where you can improvise your search. So wherever you are searching and you have like kind of a dictionary kind of thing, and you want to improvise your search, kind of a data structure where you use. So you have to design that particular data structure. He gave me three follow-ups. And in those three follow-ups, every follow-up asked me to change something, some or the other aspect of any particular class. And he was also looking at how well you design your classes, right? How modular it is and how granular it is. So it should only serve one particular functionality. Any class should only serve one particular functionality. If you're using design patterns or not, if you're not, just tell them that okay, we don't have much time, but this is the design pattern and how I can implement this. So that adds up. I think I would like to say I aced that round well. The bar raiser. Third comes an SDM3, manager level 3. L7, and so he asked that particular round was a tricky round. The third round, it was exactly 5 minutes later, and he comes in the same two behavioral questions, two follow-ups. He was also from the same city that I studied, so got a bit of connect there. Uh, he asked me a arrays-based question. He then tried to explain me a different scenario in the same question as well, basically gave me a follow-up for that particular question. So I coded the follow-up. For the arrays question, I gave him three different solutions, brute force, two brute forces, and one optimized one, which was O of n and O of 1. So that was the best possible solution for that. Then he said, okay, maybe there's one more solution if you add this condition in. So then he added that condition in. This is kind of a follow-up. So gave me a follow-up, coded that particular follow-up, which was better than O of n, maybe like all the S30 people now know better than O of n. So then it was maybe partial best solution for that follow-up. He said he gave me one more follow-up that, okay, now refine more for this particular answer. Then I refined it more, got to the best possible solution, coded it out, and that was the third round. Fourth round comes in, and it's a SDM3 again, L7 manager. Uh, Fourth round is a system design round, right? And so Amazon doesn't use a external tool like draw.io or Excalibur. So it's what I feel that it's no point of for Amazon exercising your system design rounds on Excalibur. It helps a little, but the UI is way different than what we think of Excalibur. So they give you the blue space. They call it blue space, right? So they give you the link for it. It's monitored what you're doing, whatever you're doing, even if you are accessing it before it. They say it's fine. It's for your practice. So what I did was every day I practiced two system design questions, 3 days in a row before the super day. So this helped me to understand all the shortcuts for all the boxes, lines, And so this was saving a millisecond, maybe a second somewhere or the other, but this was helping me because I don't have to think, okay, now how do I draw a line? I can focus my whole brain into what's the next design, what's the next point that I'm going to talk about, right?
Right.
So system design problem, he gave me a standard system design problem. Don't want to take the name, but system design, same problem. I think I talked a lot in that particular problem, opened the platform for discussions at the end. Uh, then asked him. So every particular interview that day, I asked at least three questions to every interviewer because they have that particular tick mark as well,
Okay.
right? So if you ask meaningful questions to them, they feel that okay, he's genuinely interested in the company.
Yeah.
I mean, with
Yeah.
such kind of a company, nobody, unless he's interested in,
Yeah.
it doesn't make a point to me. But yeah, so ask meaningful questions at the end. They'll always extend the next 10 minutes if you ask more and more interesting questions. They like to answer the questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the day for.
So to summarize, one OA, two coding rounds, in which multiple questions with multiple follow-ups, and two system design rounds.
Yeah,
One system design
and yeah,
and
one low level design.
one low-level design. That's
Yeah.
a game. That's pretty expected out of.
Yes, it's very standard.
Yeah, it's very standard. And most of the system design things we had covered in Raj sir's cohort.
I would say yes.
Okay. And DSA, what was missing? What
I
what
would say
what
nothing.
was different from that we might have left in aesthetics cohort that you did for DSA, right? What was left
Yeah, I
out
would
of?
say nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, just a feedback so that we can add it. If
Yeah.
but one thing is there, two things is that okay. What was the name of the tool that you told about Amazon that they use that we can practice? We can make the student
Bluescape.
blue.
Bluescape. But it's not available for all the so it's not open source.
Okay. And so you practice for 3 days on which tool then?
Same blue space.
Same. Okay.
Yeah. They'll only so they
Yeah.
like an hour before the interview, I went to the tool back again, erased every design I drew because whenever the interviewer will log in, he'll log in into the same workspace. So he can see what I've done.
Got
So
it. Got it. Got it.
yeah.
All right. That's a great way of summarizing. And if you can summarize, you did Goldman also, right?
I did not. No, I
Which
did not do
which
Goldman.
finance company you did? You did one of the.
Oh, I actually did a lot of companies. I think I did Fidelity.
Where you did the final rounds, the super days kind of scenario, so that
Oh, it was it Super Day is kind of scenario. So I call it Super Day because
yeah,
it's 4 rounds in a day. It's not Super Day. You always it's
I
analogous to
understand,
Goldman
but I
Sachs.
want to call it super
So
day now. That's a great terminology. I want to call it super day. Yeah. Any
yeah,
other company that you want to share the interview experience that you really loved?
I yeah I would say Walmart was challenging.
Yeah.
I mean, 18 behavioral, you'll always tend to sweat
Mm-hmm.
and talk gibberish at the end because you don't have enough material to give them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So, and Microsoft, he challenged me like anything. I think I can say he gave me a problem similar to build. If you have heard of the term build or if you're using build, it's mostly in states only, but it's very tricky to understand what build does in the backend because you have never used it. It's not like straightforward Netflix or something.
Yeah. So okay, let me take the questions from the chat. And one of the things that okay, which is probably a gap for the students who are in aesthetic is behavioral. All right, we do
Hmm.
have the workshop, we do have the problems, but how did you
Mhm.
prepare for the behavioral rounds because it was one big chunk
Mhm.
in the interviews.
Yeah, I think I would like to say that I have never failed around because of behavior. I have never uttered because I didn't have material. I believe that when you utter, either you're nervous because you don't have material, or you literally don't have material to speak forward. You're thinking of what you speak forward, right? So, firstly, for Amazon, and most of the people out here are giving interviews for Amazon. So there are 16 leadership principles. They'll never ask you all the 16, right? Pick 10 that you most love, that you feel that are best for you. Every day in the morning, get up and spend 2 minutes, write those down on a whiteboard. Because if you write it every single day, on fifth or sixth day, you don't even have to see back in the laptop that, okay, what I missed. You will memorize all the 10. Once, why I say this, because uh, when you're talking, right, when you speak that leadership principle, when you speak frugality, right, when you speak frugality, they're typing something. So that is a key point where they are noting, okay, he's speaking out the leadership principle, right? So they may not be interested in what you're speaking, but as you speak, dive deep, they are typing something. So that's a tick mark for them, right? So it's very crucial that you know all of these things in and out. So that's one point of it. The second point of it is whenever you create a story, at least have two leadership principles in that story, like exact keywords in that story. So when you speak it, they'll type. So that's a big tick mark for them. And it's also a big tick mark for you. If you don't do the solution well, you just explain them verbally, but you're very good at behavioral, you'll get the job.
Hmm.
So that's one point of it. Other than that, don't repeat your stories. If you don't have material,
Build
I
one,
mean,
build some, build some and practice and make it practice it so that you are
yeah,
able to or dig
yeah,
deep,
yeah,
in your
yeah,
that's
yes. I think if you have even spent 1 year in even back in India, you have the material. Don't worry about it. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
VGR sounds like a lot of question both for Walmart and Amazon. What's your YOE? What is YOE and location is and
year of experience.
year of experience and location in India. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Experience in India
year
is
of experience.
yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
2 years, 2.5 years, and location was just Bangalore, but come from a COVID batch, so I was always home.
All right. This is a particular question from VG himself that okay, did you design any apps at your organization? Is the question which is frequently asked. Was it asked to you?
No,
Yeah.
never. Uh, they'll just ask you what projects you have done, and if you're enthusiastic about your project and you speak that with confidence, they think that you have done something very great. So they'll never cross question you.
Got it. So how did you prepare for high level and system design and low level system design apart from aesthetic?
Okay. So uh, I think aesthetic has been the core for sure because uh, whenever I have to do mock, so I think what helped me is before going to this story, I got my Walmart offer letter on, let's say, Monday or Tuesday, and I had my Amazon HD2 signed on Friday, so the super day on Friday. So I had like 3 days or something, and I didn't study because I this was my first offer. I was thinking of SD3 because I come from just 2 years of experience, but I got senior SD. So it's way too much to offer to what you can expect. So I was very happy. I was on cloud nine. I didn't study for Amazon. So at that particular day, whatever I was coding, it was all my practice up until Walmart. After Walmart, I little didn't study apart from system design. The Bluescape tool is what I practiced. I practiced. Uh, yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
That how did you start? How did you did you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything
yeah.
apart from aesthetic for system design and low level design?
Yeah. I think system design is a lot of talk, right? There's never a right or wrong answer. It's just your system and how you can justify the decisions that you make for that system. So uh, I think the cohort helped me a lot for sure. System design is widely like you'll get a lot of material on YouTube as well. But what is the key factor that differentiates you with all the people who are just gaining that knowledge is doing mocks. So every single day, do one mock for system design until your super day. So that will help because you don't have to frame your sentence. Think about framing your sentence. You already have that in your brain. You already know how you want to talk and what he wants to hear from you. So the mocks really help. and never a better place than S30 to get people to mock with, and you get the greatest talent for sure. So I have mocked with many people out there. I think before Walmart, I was doing 2 to 3 mocks every single day. So 60 minutes of one mock, 30 minutes I ask them a question, 30 minutes they ask me a question. And so I was doing 2 to 3 mocks every single day.
Yeah.
So this helped me build all the confidence for interviews.
So apart from the cohort, you did mocks, and I know that okay, you have been using the alumni mock uh,
Yeah.
the feature that. Apart from that, did you do hello interview or something like that? There is a hello
No,
you didn't do.
no, you don't need it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think if you have STD, you don't need nothing.
yeah. But I just wanted to mention because one
Mm.
or two students, one or two alumni had mentioned it. We know that what we have built.
Mm.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, let me go from the beginning. How did you get the recruiter call? Was it
Yeah.
was this done
Yeah,
on?
this repeated. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get all the calls through the referrals or direct applications?
So this is a critical point where I'd say that I never got, I would not say never, but I didn't get as many calls as with referrals as compared to just directly applying.
That's
And this
interesting.
is very strange. This is
Uh-huh.
very strange.
Hmm.
Just make sure that you apply before 24 hours. Key factor.
Apply before 24 hours. Yeah.
Apply before 24 hours. Even the refer in my case, even the referral will not hold as much value as time would in your case.
That's very interesting. Yeah, this is third time
Mhm.
a alumni is telling me that apply within 24 hours. And one of the things, I take that as a feedback is that okay, we do the referrals, right? But we come to know about the opening generally from the students, and it generally
Yeah,
24 or 48 hours have passed, and then that's when we are referring, and probably we are not getting those many results because of that. So apply within 24 hours online, direct application.
yeah,
That's a great that's a great learning. I'm going to write it.
yeah,
Okay. How did you prepare your stories? Could you elaborate? He has already covered it. How did you prepare the highlight? Okay, done, done. Also, you gave, okay, what, there was a cooling period. You gave SD1 in August, right?
yeah,
Wasn't there
yeah.
a cooling period in Amazon?
Yeah, there generally is a cooling period of 6 months, but it depends on how like what feedback you get from the previous ones, right? So if you fail, like if you brutally
Yeah.
fail, they'll definitely keep the 6 to, they can even take it to 12 months. So how the interview is structured is after every interview they'll give you okay strong hire, weak hire, raises the in case of SD2 they give you raises the bar or meets the bar. So these are the metrics on how a recruiter decides if you should be good enough for the second chance or not.
Right. Awesome. Two
And SD2s they are always hiring, so uh, even if you give an SD2, you, you should be able to give another SD2 sooner than later.
That's awesome. All right, two questions from Kritika. One, how much time it took for you to hear back from them? And the second
Mhm.
one is okay. Let's go with the first one. That how much time it took them to hear back.
Yeah. So in terms of Walmart, the process was very long. I think it took 3 months for me. Started with September end, and until November, it was still going on. So it's very different with Walmart, but with Amazon SD2, they are very quick. So when I say very quick, uh, once I got the call, because it's not like you applied and I got the call, right? So it's not the same scenario for me. The recruiter reached out because somebody at SRT referred my name to them. So it's very quick, and they have specific days when 4 people align to take that particular interview. So in December there was only one date out there, and I didn't wanted to miss it because I knew that I will make Walmart and as the Amazon is just I knew that the bar is very high and it's very tough to get in. So I said I don't want to miss it. That's fine. I'm anyways gonna make Walmart. So let's give a chance.
Sure, that makes sense. And what would be good meaningful questions? Can you give the example of the meaningful questions that you asked,
Mhm,
especially for Amazon, and you emphasized a lot on it, and that's pretty great.
mhm,
So, what were the
mhm.
questions that you asked? give a couple of examples for you.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, a few questions out there, right? Firstly, ask them, every person likes to tell what they work on, right? So catch their pain points, ask them what they work on, right? They'll be so enthusiastic to tell you anything. Pick up a follow-up question on what they tell. So play the reverse game. They did the same to you, right?
Yeah.
Pick up a follow yeah pick up a follow-up question on what they say. They'll be more enthusiastic on telling you. Next, ask them what's their favorite leadership principle and what they stand on. So they'll be mesmerized, right? They don't know. Actually, they don't know. They'll say some days I'm this, some days I'm that. But they'll say that, oh, this is a very good question, and nobody asked me. But so this is a trade secret to get,
Yeah.
get into Amazon. So apart from it, ask them their best and worst possible time at Amazon. So this is yeah. So it's very fast paced here, right? Every day you feel something different about the company and about your work. So ask them what's the worst day you felt that even if this particular day happened, I will never leave Amazon. You know, yeah. What's the worst thing that can happen to you and you'll still stick with the company? So that's where you'll know what's their fear. What is your interviewer's fear about the company and his job?
Mm.
So these are some of the. There are a few more, but
No,
yeah,
no,
these
yeah,
are like the main.
but that's pretty insightful also, isn't it? You're not
Yeah.
asking really great question, but you are really calibrating in a sense that, okay, is this the right company for me? Because listen to
Yes.
their fears and their enthusiasm and what they are excited about, you can relate it
Yes.
back to yourself that, okay, whether you fit in the company. So
Yes.
yeah, that's good. Okay, how do you know about a job is posted within 24 hours? I think you can
Yes.
make the alerts, right? You
Yeah,
can.
you can make the alerts. Maybe LinkedIn would help you.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, also because you have to be very selective. In my case, I think I was doing lead code pass. So I do this daily streak, and I think it's even today.
Right.
So uh, it's above 300, I think, right now. So sooner or later we'll cross the year mark. But yeah, so the consistency helped me to gain such kind of a confidence that I knew that I'll not go to some of the smaller companies. So my company range was very small, and this helped me to apply only 10 or 15 jobs a day and not worry about, okay, what I'm not applying to 50, right? So what's going to happen? So be confident on yourself, figure out the companies you want, and only for those companies, check what are the last 24-hour jobs.
Yeah. This is just a comment that I want to make because you were in my cohort and from day one itself you were really confident in your abilities. I think your all the actions were manifesting from that, and that's a great trait to have or great trait to develop. Even when you were giving wrong answers, at that time still you were confident, which is a great quality to have. All right.
I
And
think we would have arguments on no, this is the right one.
yeah. So you can do the alerts on their website also for the job post. You just go over there, just dig deep, and for each opportunity you can get an alert that it has been posted. Huh? Uh,
Yeah.
this is a great question from Harshada, and she asks, "How did you plan your prep? That okay, now I'll be doing DSA, now I'll be doing HLD, now I'll be doing LND, and now I'll be doing behavioral. How did you plan your schedule, and then apply for the jobs also, right? So how did you
Mhm.
go about it?
Yeah. Uh, Starting, I was doing DSA only because of the restrictions. If I'm here, I at least want to work for 3 years. I
Yeah.
don't want to go back, and I have a time frame. So because of fear, I started DSA, but later on, started enjoying it. I started challenging myself. Okay, then why can't you do it? It's not tough. You can definitely do something that
And that
everybody else is doing.
is before joining S30 or after joining S30?
I think it's after joining. So I started enjoying after joining. I did start DSA before S30, but it was maybe n raised to 5 time complexity.
Okay,
So the worst possible time complexity.
got it.
So yeah, uh, so I started enjoying DSA, which is why I started doing like two problems, just to enjoy. Just this was like my time to take off from the whole day that I'm spending. So 1 hour a day. So I never had to practice a lot of DSA because I already did that. So I have a set of like 200 or 250 problems that I always after 3 months go back because these are the most important problems that any normal company would ask. So I go back, solve those 200 again. It's not like I solve new problem every single day, right? So even if you ask me while like I can keep my eyes closed and still solve the problem. It's at that level now that I'm practicing it so much. So didn't have to waste all to answer your question, didn't have to waste a lot of time on coding when it comes to prep. I knew that I'm lacking on low level design and I knew that I'm lacking on high level system design. So I never thought that it would be a requirement for me for someone who has 2 years of experience. But trust me, you guys will get SD2 calls and you will need high level system design. This is a mark that you should take. Someone who's thinking that he won't need system design, you will definitely need system design, right? If not now, 2 years down the line in your career. So it's better because it's very vast. So one thing I did was followed engineering blogs. There are very good blogs by Uber, uh, by many other companies out there, right? So DoorDash has their very good blog. They have way good excellence, not even where we can think of. So even if you just read every day 5 minutes these blogs, this will help you a lot. Apart from this, I started doing the cohort, and after which only after I get an interview and the recruiter tells me that there will also be a system design, I do 30 minutes of system design every day. So let's say 30 to 45 minutes of system design every day, 30 minutes of low level design every day, because low level design needs practice. It's not your brain, it's not your just knowledge. Low level design needs practice of coding, right? So 30 minutes of that, maybe let's say 2 hours finished, 1 hour of coding, 3 hours finished. And because my company application range was so small, I was applying just 10 or 15 applications a day. So that took me like 2 hours, maybe 1 hour for networking. 6 hours a day effort is more than enough, and you'll always be farther than your competition.
Got it. What was your language of choice for low level design or for coding?
Oh, Java.
What are the checks and standards that you come up with while selecting the range of companies?
Mhm. Okay. So, uh, oh, this is a good question actually. So a few points to consider in this case, right? Companies that you use a lot, that you admire a lot. I've had worked with IKEA before, so through Capgemini itself, and I've worked in the e-commerce sector, right? So I definitely knew that I'll apply to Walmart, I'll apply to Amazon, but not AWS. So I didn't do any AWS application. This is strange, but I didn't do any AWS because I knew that I won't enjoy it.
Okay,
Even if I did, it was always Amazon stores or maybe fulfillment different. So yeah, apart from it, I liked CRM platforms. I liked ERP systems, right? So they are majorly core backend systems. So it's something that you code on. You know that what's being implemented, and you can imagine. These are the companies I feel like are the part for me. There are multiple other aspects, right? Where you think the company size is small enough, and the project, your impact on the project is big enough. So that is also one part of it, which is why I also didn't apply to AWS, right? Uh, the other factor is where you think the location firstly, because 80% of the times you're going to get an application your job in that headquarters only, not the smaller offices, right?
right.
So location also is a big factor where you want to go, right?
Mm.
So I knew that I don't want to stay in Boston, so I didn't apply to most of the companies out in Boston. Also, the last part is don't self don't have self doubt, please. I think I lacked a lot there. For example, I never applied to Netflix. I didn't apply to Google. I didn't apply to Meta because I thought I'm never that capable enough. I never even gave a chance to myself to, apply to these companies. So even if you like it, but you have self-doubt, don't do that. Just add one or two applications a day for that company. It's fine. If you do, there are multiple checks for you also, like on a personal level as well. So if you have these checks, your company size will shrink, maybe to 25 or 30 companies,
Got
not
it.
more than that.
Interesting. Were you asked any LC hard questions? That's a question by Rain. Not
Mhm. Okay.
Premang. Were you asked any LC hard questions in any of the interviews?
No,
Medium.
no. The follow-ups may make it hard.
The follow-ups make it hard.
Follow-ups make it very hard. In SD2, only the behavioral and follow-ups trick you. The questions won't.
Yeah. Just like for example, a normal array, and then probably you can optimize it using binary search.
Yes. So a normal array, you can use binary search. Then maybe it's if it's not just login, if it's 5 login, like you're using maybe 2 login, they'll ask you to further optimize it. Let's say you don't need that two. Why do you need two binary searches?
Yeah, single
Think
passage.
of this. Yeah, think of this.
Yeah.
So
Renas,
yeah.
any other any how to prepare for LLD? Any resources? We do cover in system design, right?
Mm. Yes. So mostly we do cover in system design. The part where I think I mean, this is also a feedback to the
Sure.
system design cohort for ourselves. The part where I think where we lack is, and I think that we can't cover it in 1.5 hours,
That's fine.
obviously. So I think we lack where we don't have hands-on coding. We can always think of this. There's a big problem. I think we should divide it in smaller sectors and do hands-on coding on that. We are not doing hands-on coding. We are just discussing what design patterns can be used, how the classes will be structured. But uh, everybody in the cohort as well, they go back and they don't practice it. So the practice will make them perfect. So yeah, whenever how I this is how I try to think of low level design. So any problem you think uh, is a low level design, right? Elevator is a low level design. Your car is a low level design. There's a class of tires. There's a class of gearbox. There's a class of seats. There's a class of engine. And you can always use the strategy pattern to add different engines, different tires to your car. Your car is like a chassis where you'll add multiple different parts to your single. So this is just an example that I try to frame. Once you start thinking like this, go back to your IDE and try to solve it. Don't go to the very depth, but very simple. Make it 30 minutes only.
Just a comment that I want to make. Your thinking has also become a really your thinking has become modular. The way that you are explaining and about a car and LLD, you're thinking in terms of design, which is a great over a period of time, that is a skill that you have developed. Really nice to see. Could you share your experience with SD1 roles? That is, Cyclane is asking,
Mhm.
what was your experience with SD1 roles?
Mhm.
And do you see it?
SD1,
Yeah, do you see a more split towards coding rounds rather than system design over there?
yeah. I think SD1 is more split towards behavior. Very shocking fact. But I mean, I don't know if you know this, but SD1 has one particular round which is 45 to 60 minutes and it's entirely behavioral. So there's no coding question in it. They'll just come up and ask you behavioral questions on your past. So if they're giving this kind of an importance to behavioral, I think I would say that it's behavioral aligned for sure. Apart from this, uh, it's coding. So behavioral first, coding second. 3 rounds, very simple. I think it's the simplest interview, and I failed it saying that.
But it's the simple things that you that you sometimes mess up, and you have to mess up to go to the greater things, and that's fine.
Yes.
Have you been asked any brain teasers?
Oh, um,
No.
no,
If you have to think, it is no.
no.
I'm surprised you were asked a hard bit manipulation. That is,
Yes, yes.
I am surprised about that. Were you surprised?
And yeah, I mean, I've firstly, I didn't know it's bit manipulation
Okay.
because for me, I don't study bit manipulation.
Yeah.
I think it's very tricky for me, and I leave that topic. So there are a few topics that I leave, and I think that if interview asks me this, that particular day was not for me, that job was not for me. It's fine, move on, apply the next role. So he asked me for the first 15 minutes, I was just jittering. It's I was not in my senses. I was just trying to come up to a solution, the same pre-S30, yes. And he later on gave me a hint that, okay, you can do this way. And I'm like, okay, there's a four-line answer to this, but it's way too tricky to think.
Nice. That's amazing. Harshada asked, did you practice anything else than mock interviews? Just to share one data, being a being an interviewer is every mock interviewer at S30 has made to thanks. So this is the kind of pressure, or looking at the things from the other side of the table. But did you practice anything else than mock interviews to handle the pressure in the interviews?
I think practice behavioral, very key point. Don't utter, don't be always have your stories ready. uh, when you talk something with confidence, they'll not ask you deeper level follow-ups.
Interesting.
Trick.
Interesting. So, how do you tailor your resume for different application? Did you tailor your resume?
So out of the 25, 30 companies, I have a set of 10 companies where I definitely do want to get in. Like these are like the niche companies. Of course, I missed Google, Netflix, and Meta. But yeah, so niche companies that where I definitely do want to get in, and not to all the 30, but for those 10 companies, I definitely, changed my resume, did whatever I could to just get the keywords matched and get into it. Because so there also comes a point of, for example, Amazon doesn't will never ask you a question based on your resume, even in SD2.
Hmm.
So I think so. They might in SD1, but never in SD2. SD2s are way tough to go to that level that, okay, let's pick a question from
Resume.
your resume,
Yeah.
right? So if I just want to get a call and I know that they'll not ask me a question from the resume, I'll just put anything on my resume and apply. So that is something you can do, but it definitely it has to be your day. The Microsoft interview that I talked about, for the first 15 minutes, it was very strange. He went to my LinkedIn and he checked what resume points I've added to my LinkedIn in my work experience section. And he picked that particular points and he asked me a question on that. And he even said that these are something that you have already written on LinkedIn. Maybe LinkedIn is owned by Amazon. No, sorry, sooner or later, but LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and maybe they consider LinkedIn as a credible, platform to ask questions from.
Yeah.
So that was very weird. So
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Interesting. Interesting experience. When filling the job application, do you say yes or no to for sponsorship?
Oh, I say yes.
You should. Neither if you say
Yeah,
no and later on you have spent a lot of time and you have wasted a lot of time of the other person also and you are also. It's
yeah,
this feeling comes in that I want to interview desperately.
mm,
Probably that
yeah.
should be managed. Uh, all right. Anybody who has questions can raise their hand and ask the question directly to Yash that I might have missed. I must have missed a lot of. Yash, you want to take any particular question from the chat that I might have missed?
Yeah, before that, I want to go forward with, like, I want to tell two key factors that helped me get, like, that humbled me as well, and get to like good offers, right? Not the best ones, but good offers. So firstly is master, like, don't be self like, don't have self-doubt. Firstly, it's very important. And if you're here on this platform, you're not dumb. You're taking such hard work for something that you want to achieve, and just have confidence on yourself for that, right? Don't have self-doubt. The second thing is master consistency. Uh, if you take out 1 hour for like 1 hour every day and schedule that 1 hour, not like I have to do this in any particular hour in my day. No, this has to be done on this particular hour in your day. So that's consistency. So master consistency in like maybe 3 months at max, you'll see a different yourself, right? So master that and stay humble and exude quiet confidence. When I say quiet confidence, exude confidence, but not that is harming to the front person, right? Like, don't say that I'm the best person out here and you're not even close to me, right? Exude like quiet confidence.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Bhagishri, go ahead. What's your question? You can ask to directly to Yash, please.
Yeah, hi Yash. Congratulations first. Uh, and I have this question that initially you mentioned, like while preparing for the stories, we need to like you mentioned about something about matrices. Like, can you elaborate, like
Mhm.
what matrices did you use?
Mhm. Mhm. Uh, it's a generic matrix based. It was a Karat round. It was very, I would not say very similar, but it was like close to Sudoku. So Sudoku is a matrix problem. So
Oh no, in the behavior,
Sudoku,
you mentioned
oh,
that
behavior.
while answering the behavioral questions, add matrices
Mhm.
to your stories. So what were the like? What
Yeah,
are those matrices?
yeah. Just to add to that, how did you calibrate that this is a good story for a
Mhm.
particular situation? For example,
Mhm.
a time that you failed. What was the standards that you said that, oh, this is a good great story for my failure case?
Yeah. Uh, the time that you fail, this is like a very tricky story, right? You can never say that you never failed. You don't say that you never failed. Everybody fails, and what they want to hear is what was the outcome of that failure? What did you learn, and will you make like will you let that happen again? That's what they want to hear. So make a story where you at least maybe missed a deadline, or you let go a bug into the system. You didn't do enough integration testing, and there was a bug introduced in the system which gave you a lot of SEV2 calls. I mean, priority on call reports, and you had to dive deep into the code. So the dive deep into the code and find out where it's coming from. You have to replicate the whole behavior that user like that customer did and where the problem arose. So once you do that, you fixed that, added couple of more integration tests, and added a layer of security on your CD pipeline, like continuous deployment pipeline. So that security check will also check this particular broken functionality and all the other functionalities. So added level of check. So all they want is this with add throw in some metrics, right? So when you say integration tests, say that I did like 20 integration tests and like 40 unit tests, get the CR published from everybody. The next deadline I completed it 2 weeks before, right? So I learned something from this and got better the next day.
Yeah. So pretty much like the star methodology. That's
Yeah,
the matrix that he gave a really great example of.
yeah.
All right. Situation, task, result. Situation, task. What is a
Action result.
action and result? So basically, and what actions that you took that so that that failure doesn't happen again. So Bhagishri, that is
Yeah.
the same methodology. So you base your answers based on that, and Yash gave a great example for that. All
Thank
right.
you.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Hey Yash, congratulations on the offer. I'm Rishabh here. I'm actually a front-end developer and thinking about the system design rounds. I'm not sure. So I just wanted your uh, 2 cents on where should I start preparing for these type of rounds.
Yeah. Uh, Personally, front-end developer, it's a whole another ballpark. If you see, front-end development system design is mostly what low-level design mimics. For front end development, you'll be asked to design a web page, and not the whole web page. There will be like syntax code, but you'll just have to do the fillers, and then they'll ask follow-ups. Then you'll have to change the CSS or something. So that's how the front end system design goes by. So it's not necessarily the way the backend system design is structured, but it's different for you. So if you're asking, so I'll give you the answer in a backend system design perspective, where you'll first draw a few boxes. So this is also for all the other people out there. So I have a metric that I try to follow for system design, and it's very good. So I don't think so there'll be a lot of cross question on that. So firstly is start with your functional requirements, then go to your non-functional requirements, then go to your assumptions, what assumptions you are having about the system, clarify that assumptions with your interviewer. Next is based on those assumptions, start with your capacity estimations, right? Once you finish your capacity estimations, sometimes they don't even want to go into the low level design. They don't even want to go into the class level architectures. They want to jump into, for me, always, they want to straight jump into the high level design. So now start with the high level design always, and with in this whole flow, for every one single line you're drawing or typing, have two sentences of words you're speaking for it. So what I'm trying to say with this is be verbose. Try to explain a lot to the interviewer. Don't let him talk. If he talks, he's gonna dive deep into one or the other system. So he's gonna test your domain knowledge on that. If you go to caching and then you're stuck somewhere, he's gonna pick caching and he's gonna go deeper. Is it right through, right aside? What kind of caching, inbuilt or distributed caching? So there are n questions that are gonna come in, and your whole system design is shifted from that to caching. So don't let him talk. You talk, and once you finish your high level system design, firstly give examples. So why did you choose S3? What kind of a load balancing technique are you choosing? Which cache are you choosing? Right? Why NoSQL? Which NoSQL? Right? If CDN, is it Cloudflare? Is it Akamai? Right? Which kind of an ETL pipeline will you be choosing? What, like if it's Apache Droid, so that kind of a, so examples, right? After that, end with trade-offs. Trade-offs will take a lot of time. Be very verbose on your trade-offs. This is the last spot where you stop your discussion, uh, and then at the end open up for questions. If you have finished all of these points, he will not have a lot of questions because all of his questions are covered by you itself.
Thank you so much for the detailed answer.
Jaswinder, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had muted myself. So that's a great framework actually that you're following, and no wonder that's why you were able to punch above your weight with 2 years of experience as
Yeah.
D2. That's really commendable. That's a great question by Shashank actually. How did you you had a few failures at interviews also. How did you fail with how did you cope up with the failure? And a lot of students come to me after the failure, and
Mhm.
what was the
Mhm.
process? How did
Yeah.
you pick yourself up again?
Yeah. I failed bunch of interviews at the start. I think I failed 4 or 5 interviews, and these are the interviews which mattered to me. It's not like it didn't matter to me, right? I am not even counting the interviews that didn't matter to me, and I'm not even counting the recruiter phone calls. Those are another level where they just ghost you. They call you and then they ghost you, right? So I failed, I think 4 or 5 the interviews where I definitely wanted to be in, and it was a very tough time. I had immense self-doubt, right? But then I go back to my lead code dashboard and I see all green ticks. I see all green boxes. I'm thinking, this is what they're gonna ask. Why am I so afraid? Right? It's fine if you don't. I mean, at least you need to know that you've put the work.
Yeah,
Sooner or later, you'll get it.
yeah,
If you know that you're working hard, it's fine. That particular job was not for you. Maybe you'll get a job which is for you.
that's true. So at the end of the day, hard work speaks. All right. Yeah, and you might have one or two failures, but hard work always gives results in the end. How did you use S30 for networking and referrals?
Yeah. I think too much too much aesthetic talk in this call, but I cannot emphasize this enough. Whenever I need referrals, I straight away have the alumni board and I straight away reach out to them. I'm very shameful. So years where my Mamba mentality comes in. I'm very relentless. If I want to know about how the structure of the interview is, I will go to any extent to contact them and know the structure of the interview. Or if I want a referral, then I will go to any extent. At, I mean, I will go through their posts, and somewhere 2 years down the line, they have commented their email saying that, okay, I need this job. This is my email. I'll copy this email and then mail them saying that, okay, I'm looking for a referral and a fellow SAT student. This is a green tick. So whenever you're mailing someone from SAT, just say that your fellow SAT interviewer. That helped me because yeah, so SAT interviewer. And I think someone coming from SAT, they say that, okay, let's give him, there's no cross question. Let's give him the referral or let's tell him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one. I leveraged the alumni board that way. Apart from it, I asked Jasminder on to the mocks, right? So alumni mocks. And the alumni, what I was thinking so far is that I'm good. I'm good at lead code. It's not like I'm the best, but the mocks that I did with people who Jaswinder provided, they humbled me so much. I mean, they are at so deep level of thinking. And what I try to say is in your particular group, you should be the dumbest one. Only then you'll grow the most. Be the dumbest one in your group and you'll see your life change.
That's true. In fact, adding onto a few things over here, apart the feature that we have for alumni interviews is a great, and lot of the students have given us feedback, and that's how we have improved. And I see great interviewers over there, and I get the messages from the others, even the interviewers or even the instructors. They say that okay, they had to learn, they got to learn a lot. And special
Yeah.
kudos, special salutes to Yash, that alumni board that we have in the left sidebar. A lot of credit goes to Yash because he has been saying this is not working. Can you fix this? So I've been fixing all those things. Some of the things might not be working in the alumni board. One thing that I know that the LinkedIn links were not working, and Yash pinged me, and I told him that I'll fix it, and it took some days, but it was fixed. So you have alumni board that Yash talked about, where all the list of the alumni who have made to the great companies is there, and we have tons of alumni in each company. So by like clockwork, whenever sees that somebody is hired, she takes their name, email ID, and LinkedIn and puts it in the alumni board. All right. So one of the things is that. The second thing is being an interviewer, or when you're mock interviewing with the um, other interviewers, you can just add them in the LinkedIn, and slowly but surely it grows your network like anything. All right. Those are good ways to. How did you, Neha asks, how long did you take for you to get interview calls?
Yeah.
Long enough.
Yeah. I graduated in August, and my first actual good interview was in August itself. But after that, so it's like a sine wave. I try to call it a sine wave, where you have one certain spike where you get 3 or 4 interviews and then it shut down. So when it shut down for 15 or 20 days, where you don't like, when I say you don't have nothing, you don't have aligned nothing. Like you don't have actual interview assigned to you, right? So you don't have, there's a slow spike, but that is still building. So you can't stop at that point. That is still building. Again, you'll have a certain spike where you'll get 3 or 4 interviews at a time. I mean, in a tough market, I remember a time where I had to schedule 2 or 3 interviews in one day because I had to ask them, okay, I have something aligned in this time. Can you schedule it to some other day? And they didn't have any other day. So I had to schedule the other one the other day. So this spike's gonna come in, and it's never a straight line graph, and it's also never a down graph. I think at my time it was not very great, the market, In November, it got very good, actually, I would say. And now it's gonna boom.
Yeah.
With the capitalist people out there, it's gonna boom.
Yeah. Harshada, you have a question? Go ahead. You can ask the question to Yash.
Congrats, Yash, first of all.
Thank
And I have two questions. Is it okay to ask?
you.
Uh,
Sure.
okay. So the first question is regarding the OA preparation for Amazon or Walmart, specifically because I have seen the OA questions are very different from the questions that you get during the actual interviews, because the OA questions are like very verbose and you have to get the actual gist and that's all. So how did you actually prepare for OA specifically?
Give more and more ways. There's no straight answer to it. Oh, I can give a hint. When you talk about verbose and you want to master the skill of understanding the description quick enough, go to HackerRank. HackerRank, the problem statement are very verbose. It's very long, but the answer is like 5 or 10 lines. So that's where you'll master the understanding part of it. And once you get it, it's all your hard work. But it's all your knowledge how you can solve it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And
Just adding to that, Harshada has just joined January cohort, so she doesn't know. But
Oh,
in S30 also we have 4 HackerRank OAs, which are pretty
yeah, yeah,
similar to what we do. So at least do them. 4 OAs are must that we send the link to. That is spaced at after 3 weeks, then after 6 weeks, after 9 weeks. That's called contest. We call it contest. Do them. But Yash is absolutely right. Do more for OAs. Do even more, and on HackerRank, and you will get the exact same kind of
yeah,
experience that you will be getting in the OAs. All right. It can be
yeah,
conquered with this. All right. Yes, Harshada,
yeah.
you got a
Off,
second question. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
off record tip. Uh, Most of your friends are getting OS. Talk to them. You have off record. You have their photos. Solve it on yourself. That's the best mastery to ace the OS.
Yeah. And
okay, thank
in the interview experience for the different companies also, you'll see the lot of problems for OAs. I don't think so. You guys know this because you guys are new. Uh, interview problem Recent problem asked by the interview has most of the things that he has posted in Ram has posted. So on S30 platform, you'll get all the what is being asked, and what are the things that has been asked to the other students. You can use that recent interview problems by company, and there is a section for interview experiences also. It's a lot of students keep looking at the things outside. It's inside also. If you see them, then you'll find them.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the pointers. Yeah. And my second question is my experience has been in developing enterprise solutions and DevOps. Now I'm transitioning to backend development, and I'm also getting calls for the backend development roles. But I was wondering if I perform good in DSA and system design rounds, how is the like basically how much is the weightage given to my past experience, because it won't be aligned to the backend development experience that they are looking for. So yeah, like what has been your experience? Because I think in Walmart they focus more on Java, Spring Boot, and that experience I don't have. So yeah, but if I perform better in DSA system design, what are the chances?
Yeah. Firstly, even Jaspinder can add on this. Your if you're talking about FANG, then uh, your background experience is only until you get the first call,
Yeah,
after which they don't care.
I totally. That's a very succinct answer and one line answer, and that takes all the. I was about, if I had to add, that was the only thing that I would. It doesn't matter. All right. Only thing is when they ask you about it, then don't speak
Hmm.
gibberish. Just tell as it is what you did and with numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Ritika, go ahead. What's your question, please?
So I have
Just,
two
just a
questions.
moment. Just a moment. Just we'll take last few questions and then we'll be wrapping up. We have already gone 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. So last few questions, please. Yes. Ritika, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So my first question is per round in on the super day, how many questions of coding did you have?
Yeah. So SD2 have only one, but they are follow-ups. So there are two follow-ups, and they'll definitely ask you follow-ups. So that's where a lot of coding is. So the follow-ups will change your structure, change the structure of your answer. So two follow-ups and just one question. SD1, two questions, 40 minutes.
Okay. My second question is I have only like 3 days for my SD two interview for the third round only. The other rounds I finished. I just want your tips on how to make the most out of it. Like if I have just 3 days for the third round in specific, what do you think it makes sense if I focus on? Like just some suggestions.
No, so give me more metadata. What's it on? System design or coding?
Yeah, SD two only. So I finished my system design round and the first two low level design round. I thought I was slow and I had only one question. Thank you for making me feel better saying that even you had one question. Yeah, only the third round, the interview had to reschedule because he had a conflict. So I have 3 days and there's so much questions. So I just want your tips on how you made the most out of the last few days of your interview.
No, so is it uh, didn't answer my question. Is it coding round and is it bar raiser?
The third round was yeah, I think that's the bar
No,
raiser
the
round.
upcoming round. The upcoming round.
Yeah, the third round where you mentioned it was tricky or something where you had an array question,
Okay.
right? That
Okay.
that particular round was yeah. So far I finished the low. Yeah, that's the round.
Okay.
So she doesn't know
She
exactly.
doesn't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
that what will be the
So
next
yeah.
round. So you can, with your experience, you can answer it whether it will be bar raiser. And Kritika,
Yeah.
you in January cohort?
No, I think 20. Yeah, I'm not sure. I like two cohorts before I was part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you have taken
Mhm.
system design already?
I took your videos and I've been looking into it. So that helped.
Yes. Okay. So yes.
So two things. First is don't code nothing. Just go to the leader, like not leaderboard, what we call it, Amazon questions, last 30 days, and just see the solutions. If you have not done it, then do it. I suppose you have done it because you've completed 3 rounds. So just see the solutions. If it's lead code round, this will help. The other thing is go to S30 recent interview questions and go to Amazon. You'll get a gist of all the questions and also the questions that I just said. So just read them out because you don't have much time. Bifurcate your time well and focus on your stories.
Okay.
I think every morning, just 15 minutes, read out those two stories. It's very important.
Very crisp answers. I love that. You
Thank you.
covered about lead code also, what to do in system design and behavioral also. All right, that's it, guys. We'll wrap up, and but before wrapping up, I will
Mhm.
ask Yash to, uh, if we have missed anything in this discussion, and he wants to emphasize more,
Mhm.
then please
Mhm.
touch upon that.
Yeah. Uh, Few things. If you have a goal, right? If you have a goal and you're on aesthetic, so you have a goal, you're halfway there. But goal without a deadline is just a fantasy. You're nowhere there yet, right? Goal plus deadline. So you give a deadline to yourself that in 1 month or in 2 months, I need to have certain set of interviews done. Doesn't matter if I pass it or fail it. So goal plus deadline plus you have a planned day is intention of getting to your success, right? Goal plus deadline plus plan. Add a bit of consistency. That's success. That's enough.
That's such an amazing talk. Thank you so much, Yash, for coming in and mentoring the students. You have been mentoring the students as an interviewer also, but this has been a special session. Can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for being on this platform. And it will be really great if you can put your LinkedIn in the general channel so that everybody can connect with you. And just a quick request to the audience: don't overwhelm him with DMs. You can ask him questions, but in the same thread that is posted for the chat, you can ask him questions. And if you are new December or January student, then please don't ask directly for the referrals yet. Please prepare yourself. You will be good. He is already there on the platform. He'll identify. We have another system also where Soumya is sending with the score and mock interview performance to the alumni. Please follow that. Please don't be in a hurry. He has been very patient with his hard work and consistency. He would love to see the students doing the same thing. All right. So just these pointers. Thank you so much, Yash. And over and out. Ciao.
See you soon, guys.
Thank you so much.